I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults and teens. Let's go ahead and get it. Being confident in dealing with anxiety, there's a fine line. It does take some experience. Fear of accidents. Let's kind of talk about this. Lack of experience is one of the biggest factors that I see. Fear of misjudging or making mistakes. You need some deep driving. What does this mean? You drive from a suburban area to a downtown Detroit. You drive from a suburban area to downtown Houston, Texas. You drive from a suburban area down to Los Angeles, California. When you take those deep drives over 25 minutes long, you're going to develop speed control. You're going to develop good lane positioning. You're going to develop a sense of awareness. It does take time. And if you're willing to invest the time in yourself, you will eventually grow. You have to have a solid support system around you. Next, don't overthink your decisions. If you overthink your decisions, you're more likely to doubt yourself. Why does it happen? New drivers fear making mistakes. We all fear making mistakes. This leads to hesitation. Deep thinking or deep driving focuses on positive situations, good lane changing, focusing on safety. A real life experience could be driving in rush hour, which teaches you patience, which teaches you how to understand and deal with aggressive drivers, because you're going to be out on the road dealing with a lot of aggressive drivers. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on safety. Next, fear of judgment. We're all concerned about being judged by other people. Why does fear of judgment happen? Adults feel self-conscious, and learning something new at your stage of life can be a little bit difficult. Deep thinking. Let's talk about deep thinking. Shift the focus to others. Look at your progress. Learning how to merge on an expressway. Learning how to make a left turn. Learning how to parallel park in a downtown Detroit, a downtown Chicago, Illinois, a downtown Los Angeles, California. These areas are huge, populated cities, and you need to master good speed control, good defensive driving, and just overall comfort. If you've never been in any of these large areas, you don't really have a connection piece to what I'm talking about. But through looking at these videos and through me taking the time to talk about driving anxiety and how to build confidence, I'm going to help you develop a plan to walk through these situations and guide you. Let's talk about nervousness during the test. In order for you to get on the road, you're going to have to take a state test. Luckily, me being an instructor, taking you through test prep and actually going on a test with my clients, I can give you a deep, solid perspective. This is why it's so important that you watch the videos that I'm talking about. Why does it happen? Pressure to pass the test. There's pressure in life. You have a new job interview. You're going to meet someone. You're going to be looking for a house. Those things are pressure because you want to make the right decision. The same thing when you take your test. You have to visualize in your mind making a good right turn, making a good left turn. It's really important that you understand the perspective of being a good driver. And when you understand the perspective of being a good driver, you're more likely to be safe and understand the surroundings. You want to simulate testing conditions, making a left turn in heavy traffic, looking left, looking right. You want to simulate the conditions of parallel parking, coming up to a stop line, reversing, turning hand over hand, getting the car in at a 45 angle. You want to prepare for this situation, merging on the expressway. And if you prepare for those situations, you're more likely to be more consistent. It is extremely important. Next, real life examples. Let's always talk about real life examples. Someone who has access to a practice session may fail because you get overconfident due to test anxiety. Test anxiety is normal, but we want to prepare you for success. Let's continue discussing some of the real things. Physical and cognitive challenges. We are a little bit different. We all have cognitive challenges. We have physical challenges. Let's talk about reaction times. Why does this happen in adults? Reaction time, adults are unfamiliar with certain stimuli. This could be merging in traffic in Houston, Texas, where there are a large number of semi trucks. This could be driving on a major interstate during the holiday season. The volumes of traffic on main thoroughfares are incredibly deep right now. And if you're a beginning driver, you will have a panic attack. You will have an anxiety attack. We want to gradually expose you to driving on the road and reducing stress and anxiety. It's called gradual exposure. Drivers hesitate when pedestrians suddenly step out. And if you're by a mall, if you're in a neighborhood, a downtown area, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have pedestrians walk out in front of you. You're going to have cars pull out in front of you. So you want to look ahead and be aware. Road rage is a byproduct of people who are in a hurry to get somewhere, who feel entitled on the road. The road belongs to all of us. And if you're road raging, there's always a bigger fool than you. You've cut off someone's going to cut you off. If you run a light, you run a risk of hitting a car. You run a risk of being hit. So when I see people road raging, they end up having an accident. They end up getting a ticket. They end up in their own sorrow. So road raging does nothing but distinguish your own energy because you're not mentally prepared for this. So road raging usually takes care of itself. At the end of the day, people have dash cams and they're going to end up taking a picture of your license and sending it to the police. And then we'll let the authorities arrest you and pull you over. So we don't worry about road rage because it's going to take care of itself. Let's continue. Another real life situation is jerking the wheel while braking. A lot of beginning drivers or adults who are taking drivers at an early age, you feel uncomfortable. And as we're driving on the outer ring of a mall, we learn to stop for 3 seconds, 1001, 1002, 1003. We have to look left, right, and left. But people don't stop at malls. This is a coordination issue where they're going too fast and stopping too late, or they don't stop at all. How do you handle this? You want to slow down early. You want to look ahead and check the environment. Beginning drivers don't check the environment. If you're having an anxiety or a panic attack, you don't check the environment because you only focus on what is around you instead of looking at the whole driving environment and analyzing, okay, I'm in a high traffic area. I'm in downtown Detroit. I'm in downtown Houston, Texas. I'm in downtown Los Angeles, California. There are different elements of danger, pedestrians, delivery trucks, cars. So you have to be more defensive minded. Next, let's talk about vision issues. Why does this happen? As you get older with natural aging, your night vision is affected. This leads to depth perception issues. As you learn to drive, you as a beginning driver don't understand distance and speed. This is why beginning drivers, whether you're a teen or adult, pull out in front of cars, pull out in front of trucks. And what's going to happen is you're going to make your mom and dad shut down. They're not going to want to coach you. They're not going to want to drive with you. You're going to give them a heart attack. And they're going to say, I can't drive with you because you are too risky. You are too dangerous. When you take the time to look at my content, I'm always paused. We look left, it's not clear, don't go. We look right, there's a pedestrian. You really have to turn your head and look. And if you don't turn your head and look, you're going to pull out in front of a car, and then we're going to terminate the test. It's really important that you give yourself time. But we're driving in a world today where people don't have time. They're in a hurry to get to the mall, to get to work, to get home, to get to the gas station. As a result, they're going to honk their horn. They're going to drive around you and make you feel very nervous and self-conscious. You will never see me force my driver, an adult or teen, to make a dangerous decision. Why? Beginning drivers make mistakes such as hit the brake instead of the gas, hit the gas instead of the brake. It's my job as an instructor to create a positive environment in the car, in the classroom, because what we do in the classroom is what we're going to do in the car. And we want to give you real life situations. A real life situation would be struggling to see street signs, struggling to see turning lanes. And beginning drivers tend to overshoot turn, or at night, they tend to misjudge distance. Memory lapses. This happens in older drivers. This happens in younger drivers. For younger drivers, they have information overload. Please listen to what I'm saying. They have information overload. What does this mean? You're getting too much stimuli. There's right turns. There's left turns. There's pedestrians. There's semi-trucks. There are people who are constantly driving in front of you, behind you, beside you, and lights are changing. As your instructor, I teach you to minimize stimuli that is not important. You will have stimuli in heavy areas. During the holiday season, malls are very dangerous. You have people speeding through the lanes. You have people not stopping at stop signs. You have people not yielding. You have people fighting for parking spots. You have people running through lights. You as a driver need to increase your following distance. This gives you time to see. This gives you time to react. Why does memory lapse happen? Let's talk about this. Adults multitasking. Teens multitasking. Family, work, new roads, new rules. As an instructor, I understand this, so I'm going to give you one stimuli at a time. I want you to control the car. Next, I want you to look left and right before you make your turn. I always tell you one thing to do and execute at a time. Good instructors know the limits and strengths of their student. And when you look at my videos, you really need to look at it deep. From an adult, from a teen, from an adult teaching a beginning driver, from an older driver who needs a refresher course. These elements will make you safe. Depends on repetition, solidifies learning. We're going to make 12 right turns, looking up, checking traffic. We're going to make 12 left turns, looking up and checking traffic. We're going to practice merging on 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So you develop the right stimuli to accelerate on the ramp, to look over your left shoulder and check traffic, to look over your right shoulder and check traffic, because beginners as well as adults forget the steps to generate safe driving. Forgetting to turn on your turn signal is another cause of failure. Pedestrians walking across are looking for the turn signal. Cars going across are looking for their turn signal. Left-hand turns are some of the most dangerous turns that you're going to face as a driver. Me understanding this as your instructor, I'm going to make sure it's clear. I'm going to make sure we have our green turning arrow. I'm not going to have you shoot the gap. And shoot the gap means you're going to shoot the gap through traffic, hoping that is clear. That spells death for us in a collision. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. Adults and teens, don't put yourself in a situation where you're shooting a gap, making a left turn, hoping it's clear. Because if you get a ticket and have an accident, that's failure to yield for oncoming traffic. Next, let's talk about multitasking. Why does it happen? Scanning mirrors, looking at your gauges, Surroundings feel overwhelming at first and new. An example, your first time driving to a mall. You're going to see thousands of people going to a major thoroughfare by a mall, by a downtown area, downtown Detroit, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California. There are hundreds and thousands of people. You will be overwhelmed at the sheer volume of traffic, at the lights, at the pedestrians. This is multitask driving. Deeper thinking. Prioritize what's important. Focusing on maybe your GPS. Missing a car that may come into your blind spot. I see beginning drivers who fail to turn on their left blinker, which is down, who fail to turn on their right blinker, which is up, who fail to check mirrors, who fail to look over their shoulder. You just cut off a truck. You just cut off a bicyclist. There's so many examples that I could go into. I'm just hitting a few. Let's keep going. Let's talk about physical and cognitive challenges. Beginning drivers have more cognitive challenges. That's mental. Older drivers have more physical challenges and some cognitive. Let's break this down. Reaction times. The light just turned green. You're a beginning driver. You're going to hesitate 3 or 4 seconds. We could get rear-ended. You're an older driver. 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 105. As long as you can pass the physical standards test, you're going to be able to drive. So slow reaction times can put you in danger. Example, making a left turn. When your light turns green, you got to look, check traffic to your left, make sure traffic is stopped, accelerate through your turn by the double yellow. Some of you are saying, does that really make a difference? Yes. If you start in the single double yellow lane, you stay in that single double yellow lane. But what if I have a multi-left turn lane? If you're in the far right left turn lane, you stay in the far right left turn lane. If you're in the middle left turn lane, you stay in that middle left turn lane. If you're in a far right, making that left turn lane, stay in your lane. I'm preparing you to get back into driving if your license was taken away. I'm preparing you for your test. You need to be looking at these videos, analyzing them, and when you leave comments, I know what you're thinking, and I will respond to those comments. Next, coordination issues, difficulty managing the steering wheel and pedal. Beginning drivers have that difficulty. They're slamming brakes. They're slamming gas, which makes the car jump up and down. If you're driving a manual, you push it in the clutch, you're letting the clutch up, the car stalls out. Doesn't matter if you're in an automatic or manual, the outcome is still the same. Don't be fooled by videos you see clutch control. It's still the same thing. Beginning drivers slam gas, slam brake. You need to wear thin sole shoes. Crocs are okay. Converse are okay. Thin sole shoes are very important. There's no one perfect shoe for driving, but you want to be able to feel the gas and brake. You should look where you're going. If you're making a right, I should see you looking to the right. If you're making a left, I should see you looking to the left. If you're not looking, you're going to end up hitting a curb, hitting a car, or making a really slow, wide turn, going in the wrong lane, or short, tight turn, crossing the double yellow and hitting a car head on. I had a client do that yesterday where we're supposed to be getting into the left lane to go around the roundabout to the left. He crossed the double yellow and almost hit the median. I had to turn the wheel to the right. He did fail because he did not look at the environment. He did not have night driving awareness, which is so important. Next, vision problems. A lot of people struggle with glare. A lot of people struggle with night vision or blind spots. I made a video last night going home, and we could see the difference with a dirty windshield, a clean windshield, a dirty lens on the phone or camera. It does cut down on glare. and it is harder to see at night. So when I take the time to make a night driving video, you better be coming on this live and really taking notes and really watching so you can be more prepared when you get out there. Multitasking, scanning, checking mirrors, checking your surroundings. It does take some thinking. It does take some preparation to prepare yourself mentally to clean your windshield. And when we went to the gas station, when I cleaned the windshield, what a difference. It was 100% clearer, less glare, but also we prepared for emergency situations. Skill development. The one thing I want you to understand is I focus on skill development. I want to build your skills up. And when you look at these videos, it's always about you. It's not about me. It's about skill development, helping you recognize dangers. 1, parking issues, struggling with parallel parking, or even reversing into a parking spot. If you don't work on these things, you won't be good at reversing into a spot. If you're going to a downtown Detroit, downtown Chicago, Illinois, downtown Houston, Texas, during the holiday season, you are driving to different cities. You have to know how to park. It's no excuse. And if you can't park 12 inches or closer to the curb, you're going to get a ticket. If you park 12 inches or more away from the curb, you're going to get a ticket. Some of you are saying, really? They give tickets? They do. You need to be able to park properly. If you're in a meter parking spot, you need to provide money for that meter. This is how downtown areas make their money, because downtown parking is a premium. Lane keep. I'm not talking about a computer helping you stay in your lane. I'm talking about staying centered. A lot of beginning drivers tend to hug the right side of the road. You're hugging that white line, or you're hugging the left side. You have to have proper lane positioning. You need to aim high, just like I'm looking up. If you're looking down at speedometer, let's pretend I'm looking down the speedometer. You're looking at the white line to the right. You're staring at your left mirror, right mirror. You're not really focusing. You should be looking up, judging distance. Beginning drivers or older drivers have less abilities. And if your driving coach, your mom, your dad, your uncle, or your instructor, or you watching my videos, I talk about these things to help you recognize I'm tailgating. I'm too far away. If you don't recognize it, you don't know when you're in danger. And those are two different things. Next, managing space when merging and passing. Beginning drivers don't know how to manage space when merging or passing because you haven't done it enough. Your parents will say, I can't drive with you. You give me a panic attack. You make me very angry because you don't listen to me. This is another reason why you need to be watching these videos, because I show you how to manage space, how to manage distance, keeping space. Space will give you time to react. The minimum following distance is 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, and 1003. That is the minimum following distance. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Let's talk about smooth braking. Beginning drivers have a difficult time judging space and distance. What is going to happen? They're going to slam brakes. And if you slam brakes, you're going to get rear-ended. They're going to stop 4 cars before they're supposed to. This frustrates other drivers. This creates anxiety. And you as a beginning driver don't know why. You're sweating on the steering wheel. Your coach is kind of raising his or her voice. You're squeezing the wheel. You're starting to have a panic attack. These situations are real, because when I see students gripping the wheel or their hands are sweating, we pause. And it's really important that we understand the goal. The goal is to learn how to drive. And they learn how to drive in Russia too. They learn how to drive everywhere. Smooth braking. Abrupt stops will cause you to lose points on your driving test. Abrupt clutch control, abrupt Shift control will force you to slam brakes. That is dangerous. And in the wintertime, we'll slide into a car. We'll slide through the intersection. If I hit the brake hard on the driver's side car, I will break the cable. And if the cable's broken, it is very dangerous. Next, acceleration. We never want to slam the gas. If we slam the gas, the car will squat down and take off really fast. We will lose control of our car. You will steer the car back and forth, forcing the car to go left and right. We want to gradually ease into the gas, gradually pick up our speed. We don't want to over accelerate, under accelerate. We want to have the right acceleration, and that takes time. And that goes back to having a patient instructor who's going to explain things to you, who's going to show you what to do. A lot of these driving videos you just see two people driving a car, turn here, turn here, turn here. No. I go into greater detail, greater depth, greater discussion, deeper, to help you understand why. And that's the difference. Next, rules and regulations. A lot of us, me included, do not want to follow rules, but as a result, you're going to lose your license, you're going to lose your permit. Rules and regulations. Number one, learning new traffic laws. What are the rules at a roundabout? You yield to traffic already in there. What are the rules to make a left turn? You yield to traffic that is already in the lane. Adapting to modern laws and signs can be very overwhelming. Right-of-way confusion. This is the biggest thing that I see as an instructor. Two cars come together at the same time at a four-way stop. Who has the right-of-way? The first car to get there is the first car to go. If two cars come together, the car on the right has the right-of-way. Understanding, misunderstanding, yield, or proceeding can cause accidents. Speed limits, a huge factor that we see. Trouble maintaining approaching speeds in different zones. Beginning drivers 10, hello, how are you? I do appreciate you. You passed your test, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Please keep watching the videos. We need to hear positive news like this. I am so happy for you. And that's from my heart. And this is why I do this, to help all of you. And when I get confirmation that you passed your test, that brings a smile to my face. Because that's the goal of this, is to help people move to the next level. Let's keep talking about this. Roundabouts, uncertainty on who navigates through the roundabouts. School zones, forgetting to reduce your speed and having you go over speed. And when kids see cars, they panic. They're not sure what to do. You as a driver have a personal responsibility to make sure you're driving at or below the speed limit to be safe. I want to say thank you. I'll go live later. Look at these videos. Bye.